Okay, this is the second video for your Day 6 notes, and now we're talking about the end behavior of polynomials. So remember that a polynomial function will have several turns in it, and it may go to infinity or it may go to negative infinity on either side. So the way to figure out what's happening at the ends of the polynomial function is to start by figuring out what happens on the right side. So you want to find the term with the biggest exponent, and next to that will be the leading coefficient. So my biggest exponent in my first example is 2, which means next to that is my leading coefficient. So this is my leading coefficient 3. Usually the biggest exponent is written first and the leading coefficient will be the first number, but sometimes things get mixed up. So in my example 2, I have to look for my biggest exponent, that would be the 3, and that means my leading coefficient is this 2 in front of the term. If your leading coefficient is negative, then the graph will end down on the right. So an example of the way that might look like this. On the right, it's going to be going down. So as x goes to positive infinity, your y is going to negative infinity. If the leading coefficient is positive, the graph is going to end up on the right, maybe something like this. And that means as x goes to positive infinity, your y is also going to positive infinity. The next thing you want to know is, do the ends match? This will tell you what's happening on the left side of your function. So first you determine the right side, and then you find whether the ends match. If your largest exponent is even, then the ends match. So this one is even, and that means the ends are going to match. So I'm going to first determine the right side behavior. I look at my leading coefficient, -1, and that tells me that on the right side, as x goes to positive infinity, your y is going to go to negative infinity. And now, because I know that my ends match, I know that the left side is also going to be going to negative infinity. In the next example, again, I have a largest exponent that's even. It's right here. And that means 3 is my leading coefficient. So my ends are going to match. My leading coefficient's positive, telling me that the right side is going to positive infinity. So as x goes into infinity, the y is going to infinity. And because my ends match, that means that the left side is also going to positive infinity. If the largest exponent is odd, so in this case my largest exponent is 5, then the ends don't match. So that means I have opposite ends. So I take a look at my leading coefficient, -1. That tells me that my right side is going to negative infinity. As x goes to infinity, y goes to negative infinity. And that means because my ends are opposites, the left side will go to positive infinity. Again, in the second example, your exponent's odd, so your ends don't match. My leading coefficient is 3, so on the right side I'm going to positive infinity, which means on the left side I have to go to the opposite. I have to go to negative infinity. Okay, so use your notes there to determine the end behavior of each graph. I want you to try the problems before you look at the answers. So you can pause the video here. Okay, so here are your answers. On the right side of this graph, we're going to be going to positive infinity because my leading coefficient is 5. So as x goes to positive infinity, f of x is going to go to positive infinity. My exponent, my largest exponent, is odd, so my ends don't match, which means as x goes to negative infinity, on the left side, my y is going to go to negative infinity. In the second example, my leading coefficient is 1, so that means my right side is also going to be going to infinity. As x goes to infinity, y goes to infinity. And my leading coefficient is even, so my ends match. So on the left side, as x goes to negative infinity, y also goes to infinity. It's going to match the other side. All right, third example. My leading coefficient is negative, so that means my right side is going down. As x goes to infinity, f of x goes to negative infinity. My largest exponent is positive, so my ends match. So on the left side, as x goes to negative infinity, my y value is going to match what happened on the right side. It's also going to go to negative infinity. And on the last one, I'm also going to negative infinity on the right. As x goes to negative infinity, as x goes to positive infinity, f of x goes to negative infinity. Because this exponent, the largest exponent, is odd, my ends don't match, which means on the left side, as x goes to negative infinity, f of x is going to be the opposite of negative infinity, is going to go to infinity. All right, that's the end of the video notes. Now you need to do the homework assignment that follows.